Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. You've made it halfway through the week. Good job. Today's episode is jam-packed, all right? It's like a pinata of teases. We got them popping out left and right from Nintendo and beyond. Lots of news to discuss, so we're gonna jump right in because Pikmin 4 has crept back up, as well as some interesting teases from Nintendo and Mario collabing once again. We've also got a little look at a new Pokemon product, plus I've got an update from yesterday, and Nintendogs is coming back, well, sort of. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. I love you guys a lot, and I'm so excited you're here. Make sure to smash that like button if you enjoy our daily show, and let me know in the comments down below what you think about today's topics. Now, I want to kick it off with a little follow-up from yesterday. If you missed yesterday's episode, it was a very late Good Evening Bowser, and we talked about Crash Bandicoot and this mysterious Wumpa fruit that had showed up at a streamer's house. Well, I've got an update for you because that Wumpa fruit is now in my house, and clearly something is going on this week with Mr. Bandicoot. Now, whether this is a new game, a Smash Bros. Reveal, or just celebrating his 25th anniversary, I'm not quite sure, but I do know that I have a big pinata sitting in my hand, and it looks rather tasty. Speaking of tasty, Pokemon decided to put out some Oreos, which sounds silly, but I think this is actually really neat because it ties into sort of the trading card rarity vibes by introducing rare Oreos. All right, there are 16 designs that'll be debuting on September the 13th. You'll find different Pokemon inside like Pikachu and Cyndaquil, Piplup, Snivy, Pancham, Rowlet, and Mew. Now, I assume Mew is one of the rare ones because they say that some of these Pokemon will appear a lot less frequently than others. They've got little embossed designs on the Oreos themselves, looking pretty fun. If that is one of your favorite snacks, then get ready because I would bet that these things are gonna be pretty popular. In fact, I expect to see Mew Oreos on eBay sometime soon, especially considering the scalping landscape we have here in 2021. Somebody's gonna try to say they got the rarest one. And goodness gracious, what if there's like a hidden Charizard and that one is worth $1 million? But hopefully they're just yummy, and if you want to grab some, like I said, they come out next week. They're actually taking Oreo pre-orders on Oreo.com, so if you want to grab them, maybe you should do just that. And maybe you also want to grab the newest Build-A-Bear, which is Gengar, looking very, very plump. So let me know in the comments if you're interested in that collab, and then let me know if you're interested in this one. Lego last year decided to unite with Mario, and Nintendo gave them a lot of goodness. They made a bunch of awesome sets, including a more electronic Mario that had moving eyes and kind of interacted with some of the elements he would stamp onto. Well, now they're teasing something very questionable. No, like literally, it's a question block from Mario, and they say, we've got a question for you, but they don't say what's inside. Now, are they just teasing a giant Lego question block? Or is something going to pop out of this block? I mean, it's all about popping out right now. What is inside this freaking Wumpa fruit? And what is inside that giant question block? Could they be unveiling a new series of Lego Mario, or is it something else? Now, my dream is that one day we get a Lego Mario game. All right, I love the aesthetic of Lego plus Nintendo, and I think that Lego actually has created some really great titles as of late based on popular franchises. And Mario plus Lego would be kind of a dream for a lot of kids at heart. I mean, Mario platformers do need to evolve. The new Super Mario Bros. Franchise has kind of ridden its train to its last stop, I feel, and it's time for a switch up. So why not bring Lego Super Mario Bros. Onto Switch? I think it'd be so fun to take on Bowser and blast him apart into all his little Lego-y bits. You could bring in Magic Koopa. You could even bring in some more modern faces. Give me Rosalina Lego, all right? Give me Princess Peach. Throw back to Mauser. I want to see them all. And you know it would sell like freaking Goombas, like millions and millions of copies, combining Lego fans with Mario fans. I mean, this is probably something much more small scale, probably just a new Lego set, but I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled because I'm interested to see why they're teasing it in such a mysterious movie magic-like way with the dim lights and the intense music. We'll have to wait and see. I'll keep you guys posted, but let me know in the comments if you would be interested in a Lego Mario Bros. Crossover game on Switch. Now, one game you don't have to dream about any longer is Nintendogs. Or wait, no, it's called Puppies and Kittens. This is not made by Nintendo, but it's filling that same slot, and it's releasing on November 23rd. This is a surprise announcement from Microids. There is no trailer, but there are cute and cuddly screenshots of, yep, you guessed it, Puppies and Kittens. Now, as the proud papa of a really adorable little pooch, I am happy to see this happening, especially because the true Nintendogs franchise has been dormant for about a decade now. And I think with the popularity and portability of the Switch, it's high time they bring it back. Maybe this can even be the nudge Nintendo needs, because Puppies and Kittens is clearly inspired by Nintendogs, indicating they have all sorts of mini games to care and train for your pets. You can take them on walks, you can smooch them up, you can pet them, and you can play with these digital pets. Now, I hope this one turns out to be a good time, but I will let you know that I am a bit suspicious. They also announced 2 other games published by Microids today on Switch called Interior Designer and Doctors and Nurses. These are some of the most basic, boring video game titles I've ever heard of, so maybe buyer beware on Puppies and Kittens until you see it pop out and determine for yourself if this is a pet you really want to adopt. Before we get to the garden, I wanted to tell you about a quick tease that I don't think is a tease at all. All right, Nintendo announced that their next Spirit Board event for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is centered around GameCube, because that console is also about to hit its anniversary. And some have said, oh, maybe GameCube games are coming to Switch, but I don't think that's the case at all, so just wanted to kind of quell your hype if you thought that is what they were hinting at. But we do have some very intriguing hints and teases of another title, one that has been, man, waiting in the wings for ages. Back in 2015, legendary maestro Shigeru Miyamoto announced that Pikmin 4 was nearing completion. It's now 2021, and we've never seen a single screenshot of the new Pikmin game. Now, some players assume that Hey Pikmin actually was Pikmin 4, which was a 3DS title, but they have said no, that's not the case. 2 separate things, and Pikmin 4 was still progressing for the last 6 years. Now, since it's been 6 full years since that development update, Pikmin was back in the conversation, and there was a lot of discussion about, is it still a thing? We know that Nintendo brought Pikmin 3 Deluxe to Switch last year, and people realized that that game is really good. And they brought in some new elements like co-op. Remember that. All right, so we now have new details that Pikmin 4 is still going strong, and apparently it was rebooted in 2019. Now, this was initially tweeted by a Twitter user, NWPlayer123, who has leaked other Switch stuff, primarily different titles that were revealed at E3 before this year's show. Now, she says that we'll probably see this game finally revealed sometime late next year because of how slow things have been with COVID. But if you don't believe this Twitter user, let me give you a little more goodness from Emily Rogers, who is someone well in the know on the Switch front, and Imran Khan, the news editor at Fanbyte Media and formerly the senior editor at Game Informer. Both of them say that Pikmin 4 was rebooted and is still in development. And then Imran got a little more interesting because someone touted a theory about, I wonder if, because of the 2 Joy-Con, they wanted to start experimenting with co-op in Pikmin, and that is why they included that extra little offering. Now, over on the popular video game forum Reset Era, Imran Khan responded to this theory saying, throw in some engine problems and changes, and this isn't far off. So it sounds like Nintendo might just be moving to a full-on co-op experience for Pikmin 4. They ran into some development issues that could have revolved around the engine, could have revolved around COVID, could have revolved around a number of things, and did reboot the game around 2019, and now are preparing to gear up once again to talk about Pikmin 4 in 2022. I mean, whew, that would be a very long series of events, but thankfully not unfortunate. If the game does eventually come to Switch, and it seems like it will, I mean, they put Pikmin 3 on there, I'm sure, to test the waters and remind fans that this franchise is a ton of fun. I mean, I personally think Pikmin 3 is one of the most under-radar, underrated first-party Nintendo games of the last 10 or so years. It's really good, and if you haven't played it on Switch and can grab it at a decent price, it's absolutely worth it, especially with that cooperative mode and the competitive multiplayer. That is chef's kiss. On top of this, we know that Pokemon Go developer Niantic is working with Nintendo on a Pikmin mobile project that is still supposed to launch later this year. So I think it's pretty clear that Nintendo wants to revitalize the Pikmin brand. Pikmin 3 Deluxe, Pikmin Mobile, Pikmin 4. I'm super pumped about the prospect and to see where they could go. I don't know if co-op is how I want to play Pikmin, but if it's an option, that just expands the audience, especially for those that feel stressed out by the time constraints and strategy elements of the series. But man, oh man, they are prepping for a massive 2022. Think about all the games that are already announced. Think about the games we expect to be announced. Think about the games that we do not know yet. And Nintendo is really gearing up, I feel like, for a second renaissance of Switch. Insiders have already compared 2022 to 2017, saying like they're going again with all their big hitters, Splatoon and Breath of the Wild and maybe Mario as well. I mean, dude, I cannot wait to see what 2022 brings, and you know I'll be there right with you to have you covered for all the details as they leak, as they're teased, and as they're confirmed. So let me know in the comments down below if you are excited about Pikmin 4 being back on the table, and if the talks of it returning in 2022 with co-op have you ready to go. Now, I know I was not ready to go with the poll late last night. I posted it this morning. Sorry for the delay. I fell asleep before I hit post. But I still wanted to ask you guys if you're planning on picking up WarioWare for Nintendo Switch this week. Now the review scores are in and the game looks to be pretty good. It's got around a 7 or 8 range, but I think it's excellent based on the demo that I played, so I'm 100% picking it up. Unfortunately, only 18% of you feel that same way. Now it is a $50 game and maybe that still feels like a lot for a title that formerly was a portable experience, but hey, I think WarioWare could be great. And for the 82% of you that are suspicious, I'll have more coverage of the game later this week to confirm if it's worth your money or not, all right? Thanks so much for watching today's episode of GMM. Make sure to hit that like button if you had fun with me today, and I hope you all are doing well out there. Remember to breathe, okay? And take a moment to just appreciate what's in front of you. No matter how messy or crazy your current situation is, I bet you can find one thing that you really love. And I challenge you to do it and just focus on that. Keeping goodness in your mind is a great way to create goodness out in front of you. In the meantime, though, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. And until tomorrow, SwitchForce out.